Relax. No one's coming. My sister texted minutes before the wedding ceremony. We're all at my engagement dinner instead. 2 minutes later, Mom followed with, "By the way, I used your card. All $5,100. Pop some more on it." I just replied, "Understood." That night, I said my vows alone in front of 47 empty chairs. At 3 a.m., I sent a link to the family group chat with one line. You'll want to watch this before Grandpa sees it. My name's David. I'm 33, an IT contractor who mostly works with small businesses. Nothing glamorous, just enough money and freedom to live life how I like it. I'm not the party guy, not the center of attention, and definitely not the family favorite. That title's always belonged to my younger sister, Rachel. She's the golden child, beautiful, loud, charming, always the one everyone wants to talk to at family dinners. I'm the guy who gets asked to fix the Wi-Fi, but that's fine. I never needed the spotlight. I just wanted peace. Last year, I proposed to my girlfriend of 4 years, Jenna. She's the kind of person who writes thank you notes to baristas. The one who brings extra snacks to road trips in case someone forgets. A good soul. She said yes through tears, and we started planning a small wedding. Just 50 people, close friends, some extended family. The venue was a little vineyard an hour outside the city. Nothing fancy, but beautiful. My parents weren't thrilled that it wasn't a church wedding. Rachel joked, "So, you're doing a picnic wedding? That's cute." I let it slide. It's what I always did. The plan was simple. Ceremony at 4 p.m., dinner by sunset. My buddy Jake handling music, Jenna's cousin doing flowers. Rachel had RSVP at yes. Mom said she'd be there early to help set up. Dad even agreed to walk Jenna down the aisle since her own father passed away a few years ago. I rented chairs, 50 of them. That morning, Jenna was in the bridal suite with her friends. I was pacing in my little prep room, checking the time every 2 minutes. 3:30, then 3:45. No one from my family had arrived. By 3:55, I was sweating through my shirt. I texted Rachel, "Hey, you guys on your way?" The read receipt popped up. Then nothing for a solid minute. Then came her reply, "Relax, no one's coming." I stared at it, not even understanding. Then another text buzzed in, "We're all at my engagement dinner instead." What? 2 minutes later, another notification, "My mom. By the way, I used your card. All $5,100. Pop some more on it." I didn't reply, I just stood there blinking. While outside, the officiant poked his head in to ask, "Are we ready to begin?" I nodded. We are. That night, I said my vows alone in front of 47 empty chairs. At 3 a.m., I sent a single message to the family group chat. You'll want to watch this before Grandpa sees it. And then I attached a video, and I went to sleep. Let me back up. Rachel's always been the center of our family orbit. When we were kids, it was little things. If I got an A, Rachel got a smile and a, "You're so smart." If I got a B+, I got maybe try harder next time. When I fixed Mom's laptop, I was just doing what David always does. When Rachel updated her Instagram bio, Mom would call to talk about it for 40 minutes. By the time we were both adults, it wasn't subtle anymore. Rachel got a marketing job at some boutique PR firm downtown. I landed a long-term contract doing back-end systems for a medical supply company. Mine paid better, had benefits, actual responsibility. But guess who got the family celebration dinner with champagne? Not the guy fixing servers, that's for sure. The money part got tricky real fast. Rachel got used to everyone bailing her out. Maxed her first credit card at 23, Dad paid it off to protect her credit. Got fired from her second job for skipping too many days. Mom called it a toxic work culture. When she wanted to lease a luxury SUV despite her entry-level salary, guess who co-signed the loan? You guessed it, me. "It's just for a year," she'd said, "until I get promoted." Well, that was 4 years ago. She never got promoted. I was still getting the statements. It wasn't like I had money to burn. I was making decent income, sure, but I was careful with it. I had a modest apartment, drove a 10-year-old Honda, ate home-cooked meals 90% of the time. Everything extra went into savings with a mental note. This is for Jenna, for the house, for our wedding, for life together. Jenna knew about the money stuff. She wasn't thrilled. I told her, "It's just family, they'll come around." And she believed me. God, I wish she hadn't. My parents treated Jenna like she was fine. Not amazing, not warm, not like a new daughter. Dad always forgot her name when telling stories. Mom once asked her at Thanksgiving if she was still doing the bakery thing, when Jenna's been a project coordinator at a publishing firm for 2 years. Rachel, of course, soaked it all in. She always needed to be the prettiest woman in the room. And in our family, she was. Every time Jenna wore something cute, Rachel made a face. Every time Jenna mentioned a work success, Rachel changed the subject. Subtle, cold stuff. Then came the engagement. I told my parents first. They were polite. "Congratulations," Mom said. "Well, that's nice." Rachel's response? "Wait, you proposed before telling me? That's rude, David." I brushed it off. When we started planning the wedding, we wanted small. Just 50 guests, no church, no over-the-top traditions, no speeches, simple vows, sunset to dinner. Rachel called it a Pinterest fantasy. Mom kept trying to change it. You sure you don't want your father to do a toast? He's walking her down the aisle. Isn't that enough? Jenna tried to keep the peace. Let's just be kind, she'd say. It's one day. I should have known better when Rachel offered to handle the cake. We sent her $480 from the wedding fund to place the order. Weeks went by. I asked about it. She said she'd ordered it. Then one night, Jenna found an email invoice. Rachel had refunded the cake and spent the money on a spa day with her friends. She didn't even deny it. Look, I was stressed, she said. And honestly, no one eats cake at weddings. Get cupcakes or whatever. That was 2 months before the ceremony. I should have canceled her invitation then and there. But I didn't, because I was still clinging to this fantasy that my family, dysfunctional, selfish, oblivious, would come through on the day that mattered. Then came the dress drama. Rachel wore white to Jenna's bridal shower. White. Not cream. Not off-white. Full-on bridal white with a sweetheart neckline and matching shoes. Everyone noticed. Jenna said nothing. She smiled, greeted guests, handed out party favors like nothing was wrong. But when we got home that night, she cried in the bathroom for half an hour. I just wanted one day, she said. Just one day where I wasn't made to feel invisible. I sat on the other side of the door, feeling like the biggest idiot in the world. We were 2 weeks from the wedding, and deep down, I think I already knew. I knew something would go wrong. I just didn't think it would be this bad. The day of the wedding started off quiet. I woke up at 6 a.m. to sunlight leaking through the hotel blinds. Jenna was already up, sitting on the floor in her robe, scribbling something in a notebook. She looked calm, peaceful, focused. She smiled when I stirred. Writing your vows? I asked. She nodded. Almost done. I kissed her shoulder, said I'd give her space, and left to grab coffee. I figured I'd stop by the venue early to help the crew unload chairs, do a last-minute check, just normal groom stuff. The whole drive, I kept telling myself everything would be fine. At 10 a.m., my phone buzzed. It was Mom. Hey, just a heads up. Rachel said there might be a delay. Don't worry. I didn't think much of it. Rachel's always late. Hair, makeup, drama. I replied, okay, see you all by 3. She didn't respond. By 2:30, guests had started to arrive. Jenna's friends, my college buddy Jake, who drove 4 hours to be there. The officiant had set up under the vine-covered arch. Jenna's cousin finished the flowers. Everything looked perfect, except the bride was still in her prep room. And my side of the chairs, the side reserved for family, was completely empty. No mom, no dad, no Rachel. I walked behind the venue building, phone in hand, and texted my sister. ETA. A minute later, the bubble showed she was typing. Then her message popped up. Relax, no one's coming. I stared at it like it was a bad joke. My thumb hovered over the screen. I didn't know what to even say. But then another message appeared. We're all at my engagement dinner instead. The words didn't compute. I read them 5 times. I felt my chest tighten. Then Mom chimed in. Her text. By the way, I used your card. All $5,100. Pop some more on it. I just replied, understood. Then I walked back out to the main area. The officiant was looking around nervously. David, he asked, we're ready? I said, start is sweet. So I stood up front alone. Jenna walked down the aisle, all grace and poise, smiling like nothing had happened. Like her groom hadn't just been abandoned by his entire family. Like we weren't saying our vows in front of 47 guests and 47 empty chairs. I do. And I said it back. Everyone clapped. The photographer took pictures that looked beautiful on the surface. No one talked about the half-empty room. We cut the cake. The one Jenna ordered last minute when she realized Rachel never replaced the one she canceled. We danced. My college friend gave a speech. Jenna's uncle played the piano. At 9 p.m., the party ended. We drove back to our hotel in silence. She reached for my hand in the car and just squeezed it. I'm sorry, she whispered. I didn't say anything, not because I was angry at her, but because I knew, finally knew, that something inside me had broken, like a switch flipped. Something I'd been ignoring for years finally cracked all the way through. They chose her again, on my wedding day. When we got back to our room, Jenna went to wash off her makeup. I sat on the edge of the bed staring at my phone. Rachel had posted a picture on Instagram. Her and her fiancé smiling at a rooftop bar with engaged balloons in the background. My parents were there, glasses raised, matching smiles. I kept staring at the photo. I didn't cry. I didn't throw the phone. I just felt cold. Then I opened my laptop. See, what Rachel didn't know, what none of them knew, is that I had a hobby. A small one, really. Just a little YouTube channel I'd started during lockdown. Tech tutorials, funny skits, personal vlogs. Nothing huge, but I kept it up for years. Over time, it picked up some steam. One of my videos on fixing a common Windows bug had gone mildly viral. I had 68,000 subscribers, enough to earn side income, enough to give me a platform. So that night at 2:53 a.m., I recorded something. I sat in my wedding clothes, still rumpled, tie loose, face blank, and I spoke into the camera. Yeah, I told the story. Not dramatically, not yelling, just facts. Today was supposed to be my wedding. My family didn't show, they were at my sister's engagement dinner instead. My mom used my card to pay for it. This isn't about revenge, it's about clarity. About years of being second, about watching my sister bend the truth, take advantage, cross boundaries, and get rewarded for it. About being told to keep the peace so many times that I forgot I had a right to be angry. I ended the video with a simple message. I'm done. This is the last time I let them take from me. I uploaded it privately. Then I sent a single message to the family group chat. You'll want to watch this before Grandpa sees it. No emojis, no threats. Just the link. Then I shut off my phone and crawled into bed beside Jenna. That was the first night in years I slept straight through until morning. I woke up to 53 missed notifications. 4 from my mom, 3 from my dad, 28 from Rachel. The rest were from cousins, aunts, 1 from Grandpa, and a bunch of Instagram DMs from people I didn't even know. The video blew up. I didn't expect that. Turns out when you title a post, my family skipped my wedding for my sister's engagement and include actual receipts, texts, screenshots, even the bank statement showing the $5,100 charge. People pay attention. It started small, a few hundred views. Then it hit a Reddit thread. From there, TikTok picked it up. Within 24 hours, my channel went from 68,000 to 150,000 subscribers. The comments were a wall of support. Dude, this is brutal. I can't believe they did that. Your sister is straight up unfair. Jenna is a queen for standing by you. This hit harder than any family drama movie I've ever seen. Rachel's Instagram went private within 6 hours. My parents didn't post anything at all, not even their usual Sunday brunch nonsense. The silence was loud, but the family chat, that was chaos. First came Dad's message. David, what is this? Take that video down now. Then Mom. This is deeply unfair. You're airing private family matters online. We were just trying to support Rachel. Then Rachel herself. A full essay. You're disgusting for doing this. You made us look like monsters. You're twisting everything. That video is a complete betrayal. You know, I was planning my engagement for months. No apology, no acknowledgement of what she'd done. Just rage that I told the truth. I didn't respond. That night, Jenna made pasta. We sat at the table like any regular Tuesday couple. Except now she had a husband with a small cult following and a family scandal trending in 3 subreddits. You okay? She asked. I think so, I said. Just tired. I'm proud of you. That meant more than she knew. The next few days were a blur. One of my old professors emailed me. A former coworker from an old IT contract message saying he watched the video with his wife and cried. A wedding photographer I didn't even know offered us a free photo shoot as a do-over. But what really hit me was Grandpa. He called me 2 days later, voice shaking. David, I watched the video. I braced myself. But then he said, I always suspected they favored Rachel, but this broke my heart. I didn't say much, I had just listened. I want you to know, he said, if I'd known what was happening, if someone had told me how bad it was, I would have said something. I should have said something years ago. He sent Jenna and me a wedding gift the next day, a check for $5,000 with a note. Use this for something that makes you happy, not them. I cried when I read it. That weekend, Jenna and I left town. We booked 2 nights in a cabin up north. No Wi-Fi? No text? Just quiet. Trees, a fireplace, wine. The break was needed. Back home, things started falling apart for them, not us. One of Rachel's friends, someone who'd seen the engagement dinner posts, commented on the whole situation. So wait, you knew the wedding was that day and you still chose that timing? Another friend unfollowed her. Then another. Then a cousin. The circle started to collapse. I heard from a relative, my mom's sister, that there had been a screaming match at a family brunch the following Sunday. Grandpa had called them selfish and careless. Mom walked out. Dad followed. Rachel apparently cried and claimed I manipulated the internet, whatever that means. Meanwhile, Jenna and I got back to real life. She returned to work. I kept making content. My inbox was full of requests for interviews. I declined them all. This wasn't about clout. It was about letting go, about drawing the line. One night, about 2 weeks after the wedding, I got a knock at the door. It was Dad. He looked tired, older somehow. I just want to talk, and he said. Jenna stayed in the other room. I let him sit in the living room. He didn't even touch the glass of water I offered. I didn't know they were doing that, he started. I swear I didn't. I thought they were coming later. I thought they'd at least show up by dinner. Your mom said it was just a quick stop at Rachel's event. I didn't know. He trailed off. Then you saw the chairs, that I said? He nodded. And you saw the bill? I asked. He flinched. I told your mom not to use your card, he said. I told her, but she did. Silence. Why didn't you call me? I asked. Why didn't you text or even explain? I was ashamed, he said quietly. I believed him, at least partially. But it didn't matter anymore. You let her do it? I said. All of it for years. You let her treat me like an afterthought. You let Rachel take whatever she wanted. You never stopped it. I know, he said, and now it's too late. He looked down. You can still be her father, I said, but you're not mine. Not anymore. He left after that. Didn't yell, didn't argue. Just walked out the door, like a man who'd finally realized what he'd lost. I haven't heard from him since. Jenna and I moved 3 months later. A new apartment. Fresh start. We framed one of the wedding pictures. Just the two of us under the sunset. No crowd. Perfect. Sometimes people still recognize me online. They say, hey, aren't you the guy from the wedding story? I smile. I say, yeah, that was me. And I'm not ashamed. Because for once, finally, I told the truth. And I chose peace. Even if it meant closing the door on people I once called family. It's been 9 months since the wedding. I haven't spoken to my mom since the day she texted me about using my credit card. She tried emailing once around Christmas. A 3-line apology sandwiched between passive-aggressive jabs about how family should stay private and we all make mistakes. I didn't reply. Rachel went full radio silence. Unfollowed me everywhere. Jenna's friend told us she postponed her own wedding plans indefinitely. Apparently people started dropping from her guest list after the video. She's calling it a spiritual break. I call it consequences. Dad hasn't reached out again. And that's fine. He made his choice the moment he sat in a restaurant eating crab cakes while his son stood alone in front of 47 empty chairs. People ask if I regret posting the video. Not for a second, because it wasn't about revenge. It was about reclaiming my voice. For too long, I let them rewrite the story. That I was too sensitive. That Rachel just had a big personality. That mom was just trying to help. That dad was caught in the middle. But no, that wasn't the truth. The truth is, they chose Rachel over and over again while I paid the bills, stayed quiet, and made peace. The truth is, I got erased so many times I forgot what it felt like to stand up until I did. And once I did, I never sat back down. Jenna and I are doing better than ever. We had a small celebration with close friends, a kind of wedding 2.0. No pressure, no speeches. Just us, some candles, and a taco truck in the backyard. It was perfect. She wears her ring with pride. I see the way people look at us now. Not with pity, but with respect. Like we walked through fire and didn't come out bitter, just stronger. We moved to a new apartment across town, smaller but cozy. Fresh walls, no ghosts. Jenna hung our favorite wedding picture right by the kitchen. The one where we're dancing alone in the vineyard surrounded by string lights and empty chairs. Some people might find it sad. I think it's honest. That photo reminds me what we survived. Sometimes I wonder if my family will ever change. If they'll ever really see what they did. If they'll ever apologize. Not because they got caught, but because they understand. I doubt it. And I've made peace with that. Because the real win wasn't exposing them. It was walking away from the guilt. From the pressure to keep the peace at the expense of my own mental health. From the idea that I owed them endless patience while they gave me nothing but scraps. I don't know anyone's space in my life just because we shared DNA. Family is supposed to be a place of safety, not a lifelong debt. And when they show you who they are, when they miss your wedding, drain your bank account, and smile about it, believe them. These days, I still get the occasional message from someone who watched the video. Sometimes it's a teen saying, your story gave me courage to speak up. Sometimes it's a grown adult saying, that was my childhood too. Sometimes it's just a simple thank you. And every time I smile, because maybe what happened to me wasn't unique. But finally telling the truth, that was mine. And I'm keeping it. And if you're reading this, if your family's ever made you feel like a backup plan in your own life, I want you to know something. You don't need their permission to walk away. You don't need their approval to protect your peace. You get to choose who has access to you. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is close the door quietly. Without drama, without rage, just peace. And when that silence sets in, when they finally realize they can't reach you anymore, that's when they'll understand what they lost. And by then, you'll be long gone.